What is up, everyone? This is Quantum Anomaly coming at you with another episode of the WIP-Lash. This is the Razorthorn build log number 4. And as you can see, I've gotten quite a bit done today. So much, in fact, that I've actually been able to get back to building on the ship. So let's go through some of the obvious stuff first. As you can see, the right side bay is in place. That was a huge, long, painful nightmare that we'll get into a little bit more of here in just a minute. And the engines have gotten a bit of an upgrade here. Now that I got that other bay in, I could actually, spend some time trying to figure out what else do I want to do with this ship. I am probably going to do a reduction on the stair stepping to bring it in a little bit more like this angled piece. You see how it goes like 5, 4, 3, 2, or 6, 5, 4, 3. I'm probably going to do the same on the top and the sides, but I just wanted to block some stuff in for now, get an idea of the shape. And when I did that, I realized that I could not live with myself if I had flat engines that just like started on the back of the ship and just had junk in here. So here you can see I've actually kind of blocked out, the full, inside shape of the engine. And I'll probably even do some tubes and stuff further forward than that. But this way, the core actually is going to be nestled kind of in the engineering bay. It'll actually be kind of where the power core is for the ship, I would assume, since the engines would want to plug pretty much directly into that. Right now they look kind of like little light sockets or Christmas tree lights, maybe? I don't know. Now they look like giant Christmas tree lights, and I'm never going to get that out of my head until I cover them with all kinds of armor and stuff. So, yay! Happy holidays. Let's see. Chugga chugga chugga. Let's go ahead and turn on the HUD here real quick and be letting this go. Just because I have to show it off now that it's complete on the other side. So how does some of this work? Okay. Um, First of all, when I set the core up originally for this arm piece, it actually sat kind of in quote unquote like where the middle of this bay area, you can see like this whole area was cut out before. So the core was like kind of middle and center of that spot. Now, unfortunately, it actually rests over the edge. And I'll be darned if I go through and copy and paste this entire thing onto a new core to move the core up like 3 spaces. So instead, I've cut a little hole here, and this is a temporary hole for the engines that are on the back here. And this is where I'll put my like little sliding rail piece where it'll slide in. And hide all of this. Uh-oh, I just deleted a block that I did not want to delete. Adventures with build mode. Alright, so anyway, there'll be some sliding rails in there that are for show, and that'll kind of hide the core. And I'm just going to live with it. I'm going to be okay with it. Additionally, I realized when I was building this that I was flat on the top, and that's not going to work. I've got to have a space for the power plug adapter from the other side to fit in here. Now I can, when I build the finished one, I can fill all of that in or whatever, or just kind of slab over the top of it. I just have to remember that for the flip piece, it's going to have to be open there so that the docking adapter will set in. And I'll kind of show you how some of that fits. So we are in retraction. Yes. Okay. If I can get out here quick enough, we can watch. Dur, 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 dur. Locks are coming out. Alright, and they are just about there where they go. And then both sides pull up. Look at that. It was a real pain. But now that I'm back to working on the ship, the actual design of the ship, totally worth it. This is going to be amazing when it's done. I've decided, as I posted in one of the comments in episode 3, that I'm going to use probably gravity lifts so that the gravity will be inverted on this top section. You'll actually be on the bottom will be up here and the top will be towards the center, and then on the bottom on the bottom part here, the top will be up towards the center and the bottom will be on this bottom plate. So here you can see this one is slightly modified. It doesn't have that kink on the side. because when I flipped it, I don't know what I was thinking. I was trying to mirror things in too many directions simultaneously. I think it actually ended up pretty much back where this one began, but I was having some really weird issues trying to get it to fit in there, and I wasn't sure if it was just because of, no, that is definitely different. So I have to go back and see if it's a straight line here or if I ended up making a straight line on the other side. I don't remember. Um, but it's one of those things that when I flipped it, I had to edit a couple of blocks to get it to fit. I have not then saved and flipped this one to make sure it's actually just one piece that can move back and forth. That'll come when I get back to working on that part. I've got to take a break from it. It's been, like 3 days straight, 4 days straight of just trying to get, the locks in and the piece made, all this stuff. Huge pain. So, let's see. I've also gotten the turret put back in because it just didn't look right without it. I've also gone ahead and finished covering up the top here and did some copy and pasting to get this from, to stop mostly, except for this little corner, stop looking like a big sawtooth piece on the top and the bottom. So now it's solid and filled in. Lots of framing, in there still, but hey, Along with this engine nacelle down here, because I decided to have 3 for now. I went ahead and wanted to figure out, well, first of all, I wanted to fit the whole engine pod in. And second of all, I want to do some stuff on the bottom here anyway, but I needed to get a starting place. And you can see here, one of the tricks, some people know it, a lot of people know it, some people don't. For those that don't, these activation lines can come in real handy for making, odd diagonals across things. So I was using them actually just to get a rough idea of how would it look if I put a diagonal from right here to up here, and then step back and kind of look at it and go, no, I don't really like that angle, you know? So I built it out further, and then I built this up here. And you can see I'm kind of notching it out at the top here, and that's because I'm thinking about making a kind of a smaller U-shaped pod to match these, or smaller hook pod thing, whatever. Basically to match the design of this kind of left and right, piece, and do kind of a third one that hooks up on the bottom. Maybe, I don't know, I'm roughing it out. I like the feel of it so far, and it'll probably, it'll 45 here, and then come back, and then maybe 45 here, and maybe be really wide in the back, and have, of course, I want to do all kinds of cool antennas and bays and pods, for me, I always start with, very rectangular pieces just to kind of rough out my outer edges. And, one of the first chips that I did that actually didn't look blocky was actually just a bunch of rectangles that all, got smaller and smaller and smaller until my rectangles were literally greebling and it didn't look blocky anymore. So I, build it out with squares and then put more squares inside of it on the outside of it and just keep on going until you get something you like. So that's kind of the ongoing idea for this right now. I want to think that's pretty much it as far as pieces that I've got going. Let's go ahead and get that in motion. That'll drop these bays in. But I did do one other little thing, and I will credit the thread in the description. I found on the forums on another shipyard thread the coolest little AMS turret that I've ever seen. This guy right here. I love it. It is compact. It is a 2-cannon barrel AMS turret. It has room on the underside to rotate 180 degrees, and it, well, almost 180. It's got this little slant here, but still, it's really compact, and I've got some cool stuff that I want to do with this. And no, it's not going to be a pop-up, but it is going to have to do with rails, and you guys are just going to have to wait and see what I decide to do with that at a later date. So for now, let's go ahead and kick this last piece off and slide the rest of the bits in. Let's do that first and then that. That'll drop everything in. And it'll work on both sides. And it won't get hung up. So, I'm excited about that. I like it. And hopefully this piece will translate properly when I decide to copy and paste it again later. I think it will. And if not, it's close enough that I can make it work. I can figure out a way. If I have to delete one block when I duplicate it over to the other side, so be it. I also did finally take off some of these annoying little copy and paste blocks that were left over from the latches. Just cleaning it up, trying to make it look smooth, and it's finally getting back to the point that it pretty much was before I decided to put this giant turret on there. So, almost a week's worth of work just to get a space to put a turret. But hey, I like it, and it's looking good. So that's all for now. Until next time, everybody out there, keep building.